People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, obviously, yesterday, Arsenal won 2-0 against Wolves. And, you know, definitely by our last month's standards or this whole season, we probably had our best week as an Arsenal fan. Obviously, we got some wins. We saw other teams lose. Saka signed a new deal. Martinelli signed a new deal. There's talk of Aubameyang potentially following the same on a 3-year deal and stuff like that. And we've heard a lot of progress in relation to Partey, allegedly, and some outgoing. So, you know, we don't know what the team's going to be on next season. We don't know what we're going to be on for the rest of this year. But it's this season, sorry. But it's nice to obviously get 3 points on the board. You know, put some, I don't want to go as far to say as a winning run, but we've won a couple games on the spin now. And for me, obviously, mathematically, top 4 is still possible. I believe the players have to believe they can get top 4. My personal belief is that we can't. We've got too much to do. But I hope that, not complacency, but I hope this little, you know, after the Southampton and City games, I hope there's a bit of confidence and a bit of healthy sort of swagger car. We're playing decent collectively. We're not perfect, but we're playing good collectively. Kept a couple clean sheets. Defenders are putting in good performances. Obviously, strikers are doing their thing. So I want to see a bit of confidence because obviously we're going into a very tough period now. You know, we've got next is Leicester on Tuesday. Not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. They bounced back from defeat and obviously won. And I'm sure they want to make sure they get Champions League. So we've got that. After them, I'm sure we've got Spurs. North London derby can go either way. We've obviously got Liverpool, and there's other tough games. We still got to play Villa. I'm sure I could be wrong. And Watford, and they're two teams fighting relegation and battling. And you've got to be careful of these sort of teams. I mean, teams like Bournemouth and Norwich, they look resigned to losing. They look like they're gone and stuff like that. But you never know what could happen, people. So it was decent. Obviously, I've watched the game again, and there's not too much to speak about tactically. Watching the game again, I know technically in the end result we had more possession and, well, no, they had more possession than us, which shows you need to be effective with possession. But I say we had more efforts, but it didn't feel like that watching the game again, people. It felt, definitely in the first half, I feel both teams, again, like I said in my other one, I feel because of how the team set up, I feel both teams cancelled each other out, really and truly. Obviously, look, both teams went with 3 at the back. Well, theirs is a 5. Obviously, if they go forward, it becomes a 3. You lot are not stupid, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I think both teams cancelled each other out. Obviously, we had a 3-4-3, and they had 2 up front. But I think it was slightly different, because sometimes Jimenez was there. You'd have Adama narrow, and I believe it's Johnny. You'd have Johnny or someone there doing their thing, people. Do you get? Like you saw, what I was impressed with as well, I really like how Mustafi and David Luiz answered everything in the air. We knew against Jimenez you're going to have to work very hard in the air, and I feel they did quite well. I think in the first minute you obviously saw Mustafi miss out to Jimenez and Adama have that half chance, but other than that they did their thing. Like even the second goal, people, it comes from Luiz winning one header, Mustafi putting all his net power into a next header. It eventually fell. This was the second goal. It eventually fell to Lacazette. Lacazette and Joe played a little 1-2. Obviously, you know, Joe did the little dribbling thing. And I won't show you here, but go and watch that. I'd implore you all to watch that game again, people, because let's just say, I know this is Wolves, but let's just say this is Lacazette and this is Joe Willock, people. Yeah, we're now blue. What I liked about that is he got in between the 2 centre halves, and it's like he made a run and then didn't make a run. So like, yeah, Joe's doing his thing down there. Laka's made a run on Bowley, he's checked in and then he's checked out and then he's gone. And then obviously he's got I think he deserved that purely because of how he decided to move in that game, people. So yeah, man, I felt, I keep saying Southampton, I actually feel Wolves had more of the, pardon me, it felt like they had more of the ball in the first half. In fact, let me not lie, watching it again, it felt a bit even, but it felt a bit cancelled out. I just feel, if anything, it took us probably about half an hour to really push our line further up and start really playing in their half and trying to get 1-2s. Like, there weren't too many 1-2s and neat little bits of play from our front 3 people in the first half, in their half, because, you know, we was cancelled out. We're going to get onto it, but we was cancelled out. I feel one of the main talking points, like you saw, man, you know, and I've already praised the centre halves in the air, but you know, in a game like this, when it was, you know, both teams gone with 3 at the back, 5 at the back, apologies, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, naturally you're going to cancel yourselves out a bit. And from a tactical point of view, what I liked is that, you know, our defenders knew they were going to have to be onto the ball. You know, you could see Mustafi pulling out, he was getting onto the ball and bringing in his fullback. The same goes for Kolasinac and Tierney. Obviously, David Luiz, for all his faults, the same. And I felt You know, it was a lot of backwards passing. We was resigned to playing it backwards, coming forward and then playing it here. And our midfield and our defence had a lot of joy. But when it came to attack, bringing these lot in, the radar weren't quite there, people. Because like you saw, Wolves sat. Wolves got men behind the ball and sat. And it's difficult, you know. You've got Saka here. And, you know, I'm talking about first half an hour, really. When we did get on the ball, obviously they haven't had too many touches, so they're a bit rusty, you know. Saka's passing in the first half weren't at his best. Eddie barely had any passes. Aubameyang was trying. Like I saw a lot of the times, Eddie was pulling, Saka was dropping deep. Eddie would pull out onto the shoulders, and Aubameyang would try the same thing. So obviously, eventually, we'd get frustrated with playing it out the back and not being able to find our men. The balls would come long, and you saw on a couple of times, you know, it wasn't really amounting to nothing purely because they had more bodies on bodies back and stuff like that. They got men behind the ball very well, people. In my opinion, what else is there? Like I said, I felt they had more of possession. I think, you know, we was kind of like, if I put everybody back in position quickly, people. Yeah, I think it took a while for us to go, you know what, like, let's go further up, man. Stay high and wide. Cedric wasn't as high as Tierney, but was like there. Our midfield pushed up slightly, and you saw our defence ever so slowly creep up as well and play a bit in our half. And I think it took half an hour really to start playing in their half and pushing our line slightly higher and things like that. And then you not know what happened. Obviously, I'm not going to do it all to scale, but the goal that impressed me, there was about 13 passes between for Saka's goal, excluding the, you know, when Tierney tried to play it in and it hit someone. In short, I'm pretty sure Cedric Suarez passed it out to someone. Who is it? Cedric Suarez passed it. So I know Cedric was involved. For some reason, he's stuck in my head. But Cedric played it out here, and eventually it goes to Aubameyang. Aubameyang plays it to Tierney. Yeah, Aubameyang played it. I'm poor, people. I'm even like I can't do this thing. But eventually, we're playing decent football, and you know it started off from our defence, but Cedric Suarez eventually gets the ball over there. Aubameyang's involved in the initial build-up. Gets the ball out there. I think it's Cedric to Aubameyang. Eventually, obviously, you see the overlap from Tierney. Tierney plays it across. And then you had Saka just meeting it, people. And obviously, I'd implore you all to watch that goal again, man, because that was impressive for me, people. Just the movement, anticipating it and things like that. And Saka's, obviously, it was a neat finish from Saka. He weren't really on the best of footings, and he did it, man. And it caps the best week for Saka, signing a new deal, reportedly a 4-year deal. And maybe some reports say with an option of a 5th, and also 30k or roughly 30k a week. So he's gone from 3 grand a week to 30. I know what I would do with 30 grand a year, let alone, you get it. So shout out to Saka, man. Like I said, for Wolves, you know, I said he's not Jota. Johnny would join up with Adama. I feel Adama, you know, we had to double up on we had to double up on on Adama a lot, people, and I think that's the beauty of playing free at the back, man. Because I did think Tierney and Kolasinac, obviously at times they're gonna struggle. The man's a man mountain. He's strong. He's powerful. I liked how he doubled up, man. Like if he's running, someone would engage, someone would cover, someone would drop, we'll just hold our position, and maybe a midfielder would come and drop. Obviously, despite all of that, Adama still put in a number of what I feel was testing balls and things like that. I feel on reflection, both teams in the first half really cancelled each other out and did nothing of note. But I did feel, if I had to look at it, I think, you know, our box was definitely busier than theirs, excluding the goal, in my opinion. Second half, obviously, again, you know, we was able to get a second, and we, in the grand scheme of things, we weren't in issues. But you did see a bit of an uptake in how Wolves were playing, and obviously late goals are a problem. You know, at a time I did think we did become a bit overrun by Wolves, and again, that's something we might have to start looking at, how we, you know, shut out games and things like that. Wolves look very careful, very scary on the break, so that's something, being aware of counter-attacks is something we can improve on as well. I felt sorry for Eddie Nketiah because he was outnumbered a lot of the game and stuff like that. But, you know, the stats are there, man. Saturday was the first time Arsenal had won back-to-back away games with a clean sheet since October 2015. And the first win over a side above them since September 15. So that tells you how poor we are and what we need to do. But it also tells you there's some progress. With that, Arsenal have won 4 consecutive games in all competitions for the first time since October 2018. Which, you know, it is what it is. Where apparently Arsenal are the only team to win at Wolves this season and keep a clean sheet. Bukayo Saka, the goal scorer, at 18 years and 330 days old, is the youngest Englishman to score an away goal for Arsenal since Stuart Robson in March 1983 at Goodison Park, in which he was 18 and 140 days old. So I wasn't old enough to remember him, but a lot of you, well, definitely not in his playing days, but I'm sure a lot of you can. That's decent. Obviously, with that as well, with Arteta now, we've still got a lot of improvements to make, but the stats don't lie. We've got a goal difference of plus 12 in you know 16, 17 games played, and with Emre it was -4. I mean, for Arteta, it was played 16, won 7, drawn 6, lost 3, goals for 25, goals against 13. For Emre, played 17, won 5, drawn 7, lost 5. Goals for 24, goals against 28. So maybe the stats are being manipulated a bit unfairly in Emre, against Emre, but you know the stats don't lie, people. And like I said, it's been a great week, man. On last Sunday, well, this Sunday I'm reviewing the week and stuff, but last Sunday, what, we won 2-1 at Sheffield United, we won 4-0 in midweek. Saka and Martinelli signed new deals respectively, and obviously we've capped it off with a very difficult game against Wolves. I'd say for me, watching the game again, I think everybody stood up to be... I don't think everyone was amazing. Like, no, it weren't an amazing game, but I think everybody stood up to be counted, and it was minimum 6s and 7s out of 10 for me. And I'd say as well, for me, Mustafi and David Luiz, for all of their faults and who they are as footballers, they were very convincing in the air for me, especially both of them in the lead up to the second goal, which gave us some breathing space. You know, we probably didn't create as many chances as we could, really test that keeper as much as we could. You know, we lost out on... pardon me, on possession to Wolves. Now Wolves are a better unit than us, you know, they're better form and stuff, and many people can look at that and say, similar to what they said under Emre, you know, less possession, we got 3 points in a clean sheet. Arsenal fans, we maybe not so much now, but we're used to seeing our teams have 70-80% possession, however many shots, and the most crucial thing with the 3 points wasn't going home with us. So, you know, it was a game where we needed to be professional, and I think we did that. I think it was a game for selflessness. I think everybody did that. I also think Lacazette and Joe Willock in the couple minutes they played, more so Joe than Laka, injected a bit of energy. I think Cedric Suarez looked okay in his sort of first match for Arsenal. Still a bit of teething issues, is what it is. I think Tierney and Saka, Tierney and Kolasinac, I'd be surprised if they didn't sleep on the coach home, because they were quite busy. But generally we did what we needed to do. I didn't need to watch the game again to mention this, but Martinez, you know, he weren't a thing where it's like, remember when we played Man United and De Gea saved like 20 shots one time, people, and he's literally the only reason we didn't get a point. Martinez didn't have a game like that, but I felt Martinez, when it come to coming off his box, when it come to being vocal, distributing, and the rare chances he had to save, I think again he's had a good game and he stood up to be counted. And you know, for me, when Leno comes back, he's fit. Leno is the #1. He's a class above Martinez, but he's doing all he can to complicate matters, and at least Arteta can look at him as more than just, you know, a second choice option, homegrown statistic sort of man, sort of thing. And you know, he said he's been wanting to be Arsenal's first choice keeper for time, and whether he's going to do it for a sustained period remains to be seen. But it's nice to see, you know, he's relishing it and he's prepared for it and he's doing his thing. But most importantly, we've got 3 points. The game is irrelevant now because, you know, on Tuesday we go again against Leicester, a tough game. You know, I'll be there to preview and review that game, so make sure you're paying attention to my YouTube content, because you know I'm always bringing out stuff. But in relation to this, I'm going to keep it moving. It's always a pleasure. Deluded.